Welcome back to the official Thompson Resume Writing Company YouTube channel. I am Tamika Thompson and I am the owner and resume writer at Thompson Resume Writing Company, and this video is going to provide all of my project management professionals or my PMPs out there with some specific resume tips to make their resume stand out and make sure that their value is communicated. It is estimated that there's over 16.5 million project management professionals in the entire world, and this is a growing field, so much so that by 2027, it's projected that over 88 million new people will be joining this industry. So if you're already in project management or you're someone who's thinking of getting into project management in the future or the far off future, I want to give you some resume tips to make sure that your resume is top notch. Let's get right into it. Number one on this list is to give an overview of the project and be sure to include the purpose, the outcome, as well as the budget that you were given to make this project happen. I see a lot of project managers who will simply just put on their resume, manage day-to-day projects, manage all company projects, manage 15 construction projects, but the recruiter is not going to know what that means. It's important that you are specific and that you are detailed in regards to the project itself. So let's say you are in charge of helping your company acquire a new software and roll it out across the entire organization to maybe 2,000 employees. You want to include the reason why this project is important. Maybe it's going to improve technical efficiency for the company by 25%. You want to include the outcome. So after this project was launched or after it was completed, what was the overall impact of this project being completed? What was the impact that it had on the company? Did it actually achieve whatever goal it was supposed to? Did it exceed it? And last but not least, include the budget. Give an idea of how much money you managed and how much money you had to allocate and make sure it goes to the right place to make this project happen. And with that budget, make sure to include if you stayed on target, so making sure that there was no excess spending, and if you were able to cut spending or minimize spending as well. And adding all of those little extra details provides the recruiter with clarity on the project itself. So what was the project? What was it supposed to do? What was the outcome of it? This way they were able to gauge if it was successful. And if all of your projects were successful, of course, that's always a plus. And then the amount of money that you are accustomed to managing or handling for a project. And if you're going for a particular role that is going to require you to manage 7-figure budgets or 6-figure budgets, and you have experience managing projects, you absolutely want to make sure that you have that listed on your resume. Next on this list is to get granular and down and dirty and very hyper specific about the things that you did in regards to managing or overseeing, launching, or completing this project from start to finish. So as a project manager, you're probably outlining the entire scope. Maybe you are reviewing and submitting RFPs. You are designing a budget. You're hiring a team. You're sourcing materials. There are so many things that you're doing. And all of your hard work should not go unmentioned and should not go unnoticed. So when you're listing the projects that you've worked on, be sure to include specifically every single thing that you did. And again, make sure that you're including if you were able to increase or decrease something along the way. Number 3 on this list is to include all of your credentials. Now, project management certifications are major, and oftentimes they are required for certain positions. So if you have your certifications or any special type of credentials, make sure that you include that on your resume. I have seen so many project management professionals forget to add their PMP certification, and I hate to say it, but it can hurt you in the long run, especially if a company or a recruiter or a particular role especially requires it. So any credential, any certification, any training, any license that you have that qualifies you for the job, you want to make sure you have it listed. And get this, it's estimated that you are able to earn up to 32% more if you are PMP certified versus if you're not. So if you have your PMP certification, it's really important to make sure that you have it listed, in addition to making sure that it is highlighted on your resume at the forefront. So because it is so important, you'll want to include it immediately after your qualification summary and your skills section. Next on this list is the total number of projects that you've worked on in your career as well as in your current position. So if that number is a high volume, you want to definitely show that you are an experienced project manager, because the more projects that you've managed, chances are the more seasoned that you are. So let's say you've been a project management professional for the past 10 to 15 years, and maybe as a guesstimate, maybe you've worked on over 1,000 projects. That is immediately going to communicate to the recruiter that this is a veteran, this is a seasoned project management professional who knows exactly what they're doing. And this can be especially important if you're going for project management roles that require you to have a certain number of projects under your belt. If you have that number on your resume, they already know that you are capable. With including the total number of projects that you've worked on throughout your entire career, you'll want to include that in your qualification summary and in your job description. So let's say for your current role or maybe even a past role, you'll want to give a number to show how many projects you worked on while you were at that company. So let's say you were a project manager at Blue Cross and Blue Shield from 2014 to 2018, and during that time you worked on 30 or more than 30 projects. Adding that number again provides some clarity, provides some context on the volume of projects that you are accustomed or that you're used to working on, and it lets the recruiter know, okay, this person is familiar with handling this high volume number or this number of projects. This person is going to be a great candidate. And even if that number is not super high or incredibly significant, maybe you're somebody who is still growing in the field, maybe you're new to the industry, or maybe you're just not working on a high number of projects, that is okay. But still include some sort of number to give the recruiter an idea of the volume of projects that you're used to handling. Next on this list is to mention any high-profile clients that you as a project manager helped with or interacted with or managed a project for. So maybe you are a project manager at an agency or a consulting firm, and maybe you work with big name companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, and maybe it was an implementation project, maybe it was a rollout project, maybe it was an overhaul or renovation type project. If you have worked with any big name companies or brands, that is a flex, and you absolutely want to have it on your resume. Unless there is some sort of an agreement or confidentiality clause that you are not able to list that on your resume, or that information is supposed to remain confidential. But if there is no such thing, you can include those names on your resume. If you are going for a highly competitive role or going for a role at a company that is going to require you to work with big name brands, if you have that experience, you definitely want to have that on there. And if by any chance you are unable to list the names of the companies for whatever reason, you can always allude to them by saying Fortune 10 company, Fortune 500 company, Fortune 50 company, or something like that. And last but not least on this list is to include the impact that you had on the project as a result of you being the project manager. So going back to that budget reference, let's say you were able to minimize spending or cut spending or save X amount of dollars on this project by doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you were able to increase something, you want to include that as well. If you were able to make something better, those are just some examples. So any measurable impact that you've had as a project manager on a project, be sure to include that. And again, make sure to tie it to a number so that it has that extra oomph. So those are some specific resume tips for all of my project managers out there. If you are looking to update your resume soon, I'm really hoping that you were able to take away something for this video. If you're looking to get into project management, I hope it gave you some ideas on what you need to have in your resume to get into the industry and start getting your foot in the door by getting some interviews. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button down below. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you need assistance with your project management resume, maybe you don't have the time to do it yourself, or maybe including numbers to the things that we just talked about is challenging for you, I'd be more than happy to help you. Feel free to send me an email. My email address is hello@thompsonresumes.com. My website is www.thompsonresumes.com. To receive more career and resume advice from me, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. My profile name is Tamika Thompson. You can can also follow me on Instagram. My handle is @_Mika Thompson, and I do have an email list that you can subscribe to by clicking the link in the description box down below. If you are not subscribed to my channel but you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can join my growing YouTube community. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time with another helpful video. Bye, you guys.